Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time, all around. Welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 7 years now. Copywriters versus content writers. This is a bit of a distinction that has come up in several comments I've received on different videos. If you do have a comment or question for a future Freelance Friday video, please be sure to comment that down below. I will do my best to think on it, and if it's something I can create a video for, I absolutely will. I've heard many people in the industry saying stay in your own lane when it comes to content versus copywriting. Again, this kind of like deep divide. You can either be on one side of the aisle or the other. And then they said, I'm just torn between the two because they seem too massive to dive into both, but both are super intriguing. You mentioned that you write blogs for your Fiverr customers. Would you not agree that blog articles aren't really copywriting because the purpose of the piece is not persuading the reader to take action? Blogging, I think, is more about informing and maybe entertaining the reader. And someone said, yeah, I'm always confused between copywriting and content writing. Please make a video on it. Please. Here's the answer. For some reason, it's this big like distinction, and while it is true that they are two separate types of writing and they have different goals and applications and publications and stuff like that, the point of this video is going to be to basically say it's not the deep, terrible divide that you might think it is. All right, so I define myself as a copywriter. It's just a word. So I do technically offer content writing and copywriting. Right now, I am currently offering e-commerce product descriptions for both Shopify and Amazon, email campaign writing, website content, and brand slogans. Those are all wrapped up under the copywriting label. And then technically, content writing is blogs and articles, but I'm going to get into kind of why those overlap a bit. So they are different, but really they're not that different. The way that I see it is that copywriting is meant to convert and content writing is meant to inform. Really, they overlap a lot because more often than not, you have to do both of those things in order to meet the end goal. And besides, if people are hiring me to write something for them, they usually have some kind of ROI in mind. It's really rare, honestly, for them to hire me and have absolutely no goal of conversion. That's not realistic for their business model. And so I guess I should also explain that converting is so much more broad and deep, and it just covers so much more than literally just clicking a button. So a lot of really amateur writers will focus so heavily on conversion. It has to convert. And so those are those terrible descriptions you read that finish with like, add to cart now and all of your problems will be solved, because they read that the point of copywriting is conversion. So they think, oh, well, I have to push the fact that they're going to order right now, and that is the conversion point. But there are so many more ways to convert with content. It could be continuing to scroll down the page, brand awareness, and having a deeper understanding of the company, something that when you come back, you are remembering, you are tied in, you have the emotional investment. Literally clicking a button on the page, whether that's to sign up for an email list, explore a discount code, follow up with a secondary search, continue on to a different page. All of these things are mini conversions. For the company, there is value in that, not only in actual individual sales, but moreover in the process that the customer takes and the way that the content supports that journey. So here's an example. So blogs and articles are technically content writing. Yes, I've said that. Yes, I will say it again. Content writing. Ta-da. It is content, and people are reading it to be informed and or entertained. That is why they are giving up their time to read the content. But typically there's also a marketing goal for the content, even if it's not a list of 5 things and 1, 2, 3, 4 are informative. And then the 5th, hey, sneaky, that is promoting or marketing a specific product. Even if it's not explicit like that, there is usually a marketing goal. So even if a company is posting on their blog a list of 5, whatever, I don't have a good example, and they don't make the 5th one about their product, but it still is on their website and all 5 things supported the product that they're selling, it supports the brand, and I have been informed, and now I'm more likely to convert. There's almost always, in the kind of writing that I'm doing for my clients, some marketing value towards conversion. So in this case, obviously conversion is not the primary goal. The primary goal is to inform. So the conversion point is secondary to informing. It's still there. It supports the end goal of the content. It's not the focus, because if it was, then all of a sudden you are completely discrediting the writing that they've been reading the whole way through. They didn't read it to be converted, they read it to be informed. On the flip side, I think that one of the most pure copywriting types of writing is email content. So even if they're not actively selling something, conversion is still the long-term goal. And the way that I request information, I always structure it as I need to know 3 things. I need to know the audience that I'm writing for and as much specific detail as possible without alienating anyone who it might be sent to. I also need to know the actual information that they want to have included because, hey, I'm not a mind reader. And then I also need to know the call to action. And every single email has a call to action. Here's a discount code, the link to our store. Go buy it. It could also be schedule a meeting, watching a video, add it to your calendar. All of these things are a conversion of some kind, even if that's not so explicit. I'm just repeating myself. I hope that this makes sense because to me, this makes so much sense. So the more that I'm explaining it, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but it's a common question I've gotten. And I feel like this is, I don't know. So keep watching. I will make some points eventually. So obviously with email campaigns, just as an example on the copywriting, content writing spectrum, conversion is the goal. That is the most important part of the email. Something needs to convert, but the content is what lets them get there. If we're saying that someone's going to read the whole email and then at the end they're going to get to the actual conversion point, it is the content that helps to get them there. So it has to be good content. It has to be informative or it has to be entertaining. They have to actually feel like it is worth their time to be reading it. And it has to be easy to read, meaning it just has to be well written in a way that is, how else do I say this? Easy to read. Because the reader's time is valuable. Whenever someone is reading something that you've written, they are making a trade. They're still giving something back to you in their time. So the content is what provides value to them. The conversion is what provides value to you. They need to be entertained, with a clever brand voice, so they feel like it's worth their time just in how they feel like it was enjoyable to have read it, or it needs to be informative so that they've actually learned something and started to get their mind thinking about, well, maybe I do need this product because I am informed, I'm an empowered consumer, I know what I'm getting and what I need, and that will again lead them toward conversion. It's a trade. It can't all be about conversion because in that case, the reader won't read it. There's no value in it for them. And it can't be all about content because if it is, the company will make $0. Balance. So that's all to say, I don't really think that there's a strong differentiation between content writing and copywriting. It just depends what side of the spectrum the end goal is and how much more of my focus it's going to take in the writing. It's pretty rare on the internet right now to be reading content that has no marketing value. The fact that many things that you read to be informed, you're actually being marketed to. There are very few kind of what I'd call unbiased third-party kind of content on the internet right now. But also it's on purpose because the company that is producing that content needs to have some kind of return on investment with the writing costs that they are putting content out there for you, but they also are kind of expecting something back in return. So what is different for each type of writing? I've already said that there's not this great divide. Technically, they're in different categories, but they are much more fluid than that in the way that I approach it as a writer. I think that more than anything, it has to do with the difference of where it is being published. So for example, product descriptions, email campaigns, and website content are all technically copywriting. Great, they're in the same category. But I do not write those in all the same way. I would actually say that I write blogs and email campaigns probably the most similarly. I would say that if I had to, I don't know why I have to say that, but yeah, I think I write blogs and email campaigns more similarly than I would write blogs and website content. And I probably write product descriptions and website content the most similarly if we're grouping these things on the screen. And literally no matter the kind of content or copy, the kind of writing that I am writing, I always make sure that I am writing so that it is valuable to the reader and it is written to be read with ease. And in order to achieve that, I kind of focus on 4 things. I focus on making sure that it is the right length for where it is being published. Again, value to the reader. Their time is valuable. If it's too long, they won't read it. It's fluffy. It doesn't give actual information. If it's too short, it will leave them feeling confused or like it didn't get finished. Those are both problematic sides of the spectrum. It needs to be the right format. So it needs to be easy to read, both for what I call skim readers and I call researchers. I don't know when or why I coined those little terms, but those also come up in a bit in my Fiverr Learn course. Link to that down below if you're interested. The right information, so important. Why do I even need to say that? But I do. Last but not least, I think it's so important to focus on the right impact. What is the end goal? Is it primarily to inform or is it primarily meant to convert? And that will decide where you are on the copy versus content scale. Thanks so much for watching. If you're still here, you know it. Yes, you are my hero. Thank you so much. Please be sure to like and subscribe. You're helping my little channel grow, and I am just I'm loving the journey, so thank you so much. I post every single Freelance Friday, and as of now, I'm trying to do these One Take Tuesdays, so check in on Tuesday for an unedited single take video, mostly of me rambling, and let's get back to work.